if I am in reactivity, if I am getting stuck in that maelstrom of misery and that negative energy, I'm actually increasing the maelstrom of misery. I'm actually energizing more negativity. And so just have that clarity and that awareness. It takes being a yogi. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, the divine says to each of us, be thou a yogi. Good morning, welcome. 1,000 welcomes to you all. And we are meditating today, part of our series on open to clarity and peace. The topic we're focusing on today is I want to change. So this is a very natural response, which any human can have at any point, that we can become aware that we have the capacity, we have the ability to allow ourselves, for example, to experience greater inner serenity than we have ever experienced before. That's just an example. Or to experience greater self-trust in the midst of daily life than we have ever experienced before. Another example. Or to experience greater joy and feeling of ease in the midst of daily life. That's just another example. And so then we have that awareness, and then it's as simple as opening, like I am open to transformation. I am open to increasing serenity. I am open to increasing self-trust in my daily life. I am open to feeling increasingly connected to awareness and guidance within myself from moment to moment. I am open to feeling in contact with the pure love that is always with and within me. So wherever it is that each of us who's listening to this has that awareness of, I would like growth, I would like change, I would like expansion, it really is as simple as I open. I open to feeling divine love. I open to feeling connected with highest good. I open to feeling self-healing, self-trust, self-joy, self-forgiveness, self-acceptance. I'm going to share a couple of teachings from Swami Nityananda and then some teachings from the Bhagavad Gita. We'll see how much we have time to cover. And then some practices that help us connect very directly with the ways our own thoughts and our own feelings have palpable, measurable effects on our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and other people. And so this is something science is discovering using current scientific instruments. It's something that yogis have known as long as there have been yogis. And so we'll experiment with it first, just tuning into it, and then I'll share with you some of the results of scientific studies as well. Swami Nityananda says this: you choose to be happy even as you choose to be miserable. No one else can choose that for you. So just to take a step back and to say, okay, I have the ability to choose to be happy. I also have the ability to choose to be miserable. Which do I choose? And from moment to moment, thought by thought, word by word, action by action, I am able to open and choose happiness. And I'm the only one who can do that for myself. No one else can do that for me. And so he says, am I willing to change so that none of these negative energies draw me into their maelstrom of misery? He's talking about how it's possible to feel, I'll just use this, the metaphor that was coming to me is just like a whirlwind of negativity, right? Like a whirlwind of negativity that just moves across the stage of the world every now and then. And each of us has a choice. He says, am I willing to change so that none of these negative energies draw me into their maelstrom of misery? And he's also saying, I have a choice. I have the ability to notice and not get attached and entangled if I see other people who are experiencing negative energy or a maelstrom of misery. And so practice just noticing, pretend that a maelstrom of misery is crossing the stage across the screen of your awareness. How am I responding? Am I neutrally witnessing and observing? And so I'll just tell you, awareness is present discernment is present, clarity is present, you have awareness. Okay, that's a maelstrom of misery. That's negative energy. If neutrality is present, there will be no emotional charge. So you'll have awareness, you'll have clarity, you'll have access to wisdom and courage and strength and skill and healing and good humor and hope and helpfulness and laughter, creativity, ingenuity, ability to act in whatever way is possible according to highest good. But there will be no fear, there will be no judgment, there will be no reactivity, and there will be no feeling of entanglement. And so just notice for yourself, how have I been doing with that? Have I been allowing myself to have clarity, awareness, discernment, but also non-attachment, which gives me the ability to not further energize the maelstrom of misery and the negative energy. So notice what we were just talking about, there's a neutrality. So notice how your bodies felt when we were talking about that neutrality. For just a minute, I don't want to do this very long, 20 seconds. What happens if you become aware of a maelstrom of misery, negative energy, and you start to get overwrought about it? Or you start to say, it shouldn't be that way. You start to feel blame, you start to feel judgment, you start to feel anger, you start to feel frustration, you start to be in resistance. Notice what happens to your body. Notice what happens to your heart. Notice what happens to your brain. Notice what happens to your nervous system. And so again, be really clear, be aware, be present and engaged, but notice which is going to help me be more of service. The neutrality frees me to respond with all the love and all the wisdom of my being, and allowing me to allow all the love and the wisdom of the universe to share through me. If I am in reactivity, if I am getting stuck in that maelstrom of misery and that negative energy, I'm actually increasing the maelstrom of misery. I'm actually energizing more negativity. And so just have that clarity and that awareness. It takes being a yogi. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, the divine says to each of us, be thou a yogi. So it takes being a yogi. And we're going to talk about some specific practices and some specific skills that you can practice now in a very safe, neutral, peaceful place. So then, the next time you become aware of an emotionally charged situation in which you might feel judgment, resentment, resistance, anger, and you might be invited to identify with and increase the negativity or increase the maelstrom of misery, you have skills in your back pocket, and you have clarity, you have awareness, you have a knowingness. In this moment, this is what's most helpful, and this is how it's possible for me to respond. So Swami Nityananda says, it's never too late to change. We can change. And so no matter who we are, no matter where we are, no matter what has happened or not happened in our lives, I have the ability to change any moment. And so anyone listening to this, we have this ability to change always. Swami Nityananda says there is nothing that you cannot turn into a precious gem of understanding. So absolutely everything in time and space can deepen your understanding. It can deepen your wisdom. It can deepen your clarity. It can deepen your discernment. No one else is responsible for the way you feel. You decide how you feel. And so again, I take responsibility for my thoughts. I take responsibility for my words. I take responsibility for my actions. I take responsibility for my feelings. The very energy that I use to think, to speak, to act, the divine says in the Bhagavad Gita, that's divine energy. This is true for everyone on the planet. My cosmic nature is the life consciousness by which the whole projected universe is sustained. That's from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 5. So the life consciousness that is here, the very life energy that is here in this body, in this heart, in this mind, for each of us, that's divine energy. The awareness that knows through you, that's divine energy. That which breathes through you is divine energy. And so it's noticing and appreciating any question that I have. It's only possible for me to ask that question thanks to divine energy. The light that looks out through me, the smile that shines through me, that's only possible thanks to divine energy. Okay, so I would like to share a couple of practices right now.
Welcome, my name's Dhruv, and you have arrived at Awake Yoga Meditation. If you are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing below, liking, or sharing this content. It helps get the word out. And if you're interested in deepening your happiness and joy in your life, consider subscribing to our Substack or going to our website at awakeyogameditation.org for more information. Thank you.
Let me just invite you to tune into the energy around your heart and just feel how the energy of your heart feels right now. And probably right now we're in a pretty quiet place. It's pretty peaceful. There's probably a kind of neutral feeling around your heart right now. And so just allow yourself to notice, how does your heart feel when you have a kind of neutrality? There isn't a lot of tension. There isn't a lot of negative energy. There's just a kind of neutrality. Okay, again, this is just brief, but think about how you feel when you feel angry. And I am actually inviting you just for a little while. How do you feel when you feel angry? Think about something that makes you really mad, or someone that makes you really mad. Look at your heart. What is happening to your heart when you feel angry? So just notice. And for everyone who's meditating right now, feel into the energy of the room. How does it feel when everyone else in the room is thinking about, this is what I feel like when I feel angry? Okay, so we're going to switch, and now we're going to shift to, how do I feel and how does my heart feel when I focus on feelings of appreciation? And so I'll start us off. Like, I took a walk this morning. It was around dawn. The air was like fresh and cool at the same time. It was kind of perfect, like warm and cool at the same time. It was just amazing. Super quiet, like almost nobody was out. And so there was just this kind of feeling of like stillness and joy and peace and aliveness and ease and grace, and the trees were so beautiful and the flowers were so beautiful. So I really appreciated. And it's just right out the door in Baltimore City, right? So I'm just talking about like in daily life, the little things you appreciate, the smile of a friend, steam rising on your favorite hot beverage, the clink of ice cubes in your favorite iced tea, if you like iced tea, the warmth of coming home and being able to relax. Notice how your heart feels right now. And notice how it feels in the room as you feel into the energy of the room right now. So I'm going to start to share with you a couple of studies, and I want to be clear, like these are studies that are performed using current scientific instruments. So as scientific instruments change, scientific findings will change too, but this is according to our current instruments and current understanding. The electrical field produced by the heart is 60 times greater than the electrical activity of the brain. Isn't that amazing? 60 times greater. And I'm going to keep sharing a few more things. The magnetic component of the heart's field is 100 times stronger than that produced by the brain. And it can be felt in all directions, all around you, by everyone. And by all the cells of your body. So the feelings that you are feeling, if you are feeling appreciation, creates something that scientists call coherence in your heart. It gives an anti-inflammatory message to your body. It gives an anti-stress response to your body and your brain. So if you're focusing on feelings of appreciation, and you're feeling that clarity, that coherence within your heart, it is having a measurable effect on your physical well-being, on your mental well-being, on your emotional well-being, and it's radiating in all directions around us. Okay? Scientists also tell us that if we're focusing on anger, this is measurable. It disorders the heart rhythm. It disrupts it. And so it becomes jagged. Like if you look at the graph, it disrupts it, and you can see it becomes jagged and communicates with every cell in your body. So think about that for a second. If I indulge myself in anger, I'm giving a message to every cell of my body, and I'm also radiating that energy around me in all directions. And so choosing to disengage from anger, if I am feeling from anger, is giving myself physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, and it's also giving benefits to every human who comes into contact with me in any way. And so I'll also just tell you, this is not surprising to yogis because yogis are very aware of these things, but science can measure that if my heart is in that coherent rhythm of appreciation, it can affect your brain waves 5 feet away from where I am. This is true for any human. So we are always communicating. All of this is happening wordlessly, silently. We are always communicating how we feel without a word. I'm not even talking about body language. I'm talking about these electromagnetic signals that our heart is constantly giving out, that is giving energy and information to our brain also all the time, and communicating silently with our friends, with our families, with our neighbors, with the people on the bus, with everyone that we encounter in any way. So being a yogi and choosing to detach, if I'm feeling anger, to step back from it and just notice and say, I notice that I'm feeling anger. I choose to step back from that. I choose to not energize anger. I choose to love myself so much that I'm shifting and focusing on appreciation. And then you can become so absorbed in the feeling of appreciation. How does appreciation feel? And I started this off with just really simple little things. But if this is something that you would like to cultivate for yourself, start keeping little notes. Like notice, what are the things I really appreciate? The things that help me feel just great love, great satisfaction, great ease, great trust, great well-being. And keep them in your back pocket or on your phone or on a Post-it note on your mirror, wherever it is that it helps you connect with it. And then anytime you need, take a breath. A single breath can help you to reset your energy. Choose to let go the anger and choose to energize the appreciation. A couple of other things. I'm starting to turn to some neuroscience results from current neuroscience understanding. So guess what happens if we are engaging in negative self-talk? And so it's not something I generally recommend, but right now for about 20 seconds, just engage in negative self-talk. Blame yourself for something. Judge yourself for something. Say, why didn't you do a better job at that? Okay. Just practice noticing, how does your brain feel when you engage in negative self-talk? It doesn't feel very good, does it? And so what neuroscience says is the way our nervous system understands negative self-talk, it activates the same response in our brain as if we are in actual physical danger. Wow is right. wow is right. And so just to have that clarity and that awareness, so the way that your brain and your nervous system interpret negative self-talk as an actual danger, what this means is it's like your body is preparing you to fight a tiger, but what you're actually fighting is some aspect of yourself. And so you're at war with an aspect of yourself. And you're basically giving your body that signal of, we're at war, so we don't have time to digest our food and to heal and to enjoy feeling happy and to enjoy relationships and fun and friendship and love and creativity. This is a fight. And so all of your energy gets diverted to fighting a tiger, except it's you that you're fighting. It's an aspect of you that you're fighting. And so have this clarity and this self-awareness and start to cultivate self-awareness. And I'm going to start to ask a couple questions and then we'll probably shift to a meditation. What percentage in me is fighting myself? Right? It's quite a question. What percentage? And be honest with yourself. Love yourself so much that you're honest. What would happen, and I'm not saying not to correct. Practice self-correction, where self-correction is optimal to practice, but do it without being at war with yourself. Do it with love. Do it with clarity. Do it with kindness. Do it with understanding. Do it wishing for your own happiness the same way you would wish for a friend's happiness. Please treat yourself with as much kindness as you would treat a friend, someone whose happiness you cared about. And just notice what percentage of me is fighting myself, resisting the world, fighting the world. And what would happen if I invited all of that energy to transform into understanding and compassion and courage and clarity and wisdom and strength and skill and the ability to act always from moment to moment in whatever ways are highest good? This is a choice that is available to each of us always. I'm going to share a meditation in a moment that helps us shift that percentage of us that's engaged in negative self-talk, that's warring with ourselves, that's resisting ourselves, that's warring with the world. I'll share a meditation to shift that into understanding and strength and courage and wisdom and skill. But I want to share a couple of stories. These are both true stories. They're both contemporary. And they tell us that it is possible for ordinary humans in daily life to come into contact with inner serenity. The Bhagavad Gita says, with patience, attain to inner serenity by degrees. So be steady, be kind, keep going. Inner serenity is available. It is possible. And so the first example of inner serenity comes from a human who experienced what they experienced as a cataclysmic life change. And every day for a year, they kept saying and meaning, I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. And as you work with this, it works with every level and layer of the being. By the end of this year, this person would walk into a room and their friends would say, what happened to you? You're so peaceful. I want to be like that. What happened? This person just kept choosing peace. And I want to acknowledge they did it in the face of great personal pain. And so in their case, it was emotional pain, but this is possible no matter what the pain is. Step by step, moment by moment, day by day, whatever you want to create in your life, keep choosing it and be steady and kind with yourself, and it will be so. The other story is rather dramatic, and before I share the story, I think I want to help everyone connect with, I am steady, I am grounded, I am centered, I am at ease. So for everyone, I am steady, I am centered, I am grounded, I am at ease, because I'm about to tell a story about someone who experienced something very different, and I'm not trying to energize that for anybody. But this was a person who connected with inner serenity in a moment. It is a person who was in their early 30s and had climbed a tree, and the tree branch cracked and they fell. And in the brief moment of time that they were falling, they surrendered totally. Totally they surrendered. They felt complete clarity and complete peace as they were falling. There was nothing that they could do, and so they surrendered entirely to that fall. What happened after that is they became paralyzed. They said the biggest surprise is how much better their life is now. They don't ignore that they had to learn everything from a different perspective, now from a wheelchair. But they said that in that fall, they aligned with their spiritual purpose. Before that, they had been drifting. They had been not in contact with their spiritual purpose. They had been warring with themselves. They had been warring with the world. All that went away. And there was just clarity. And so for everyone, I am steady, I am grounded, I am centered, I am balanced. Be in contact with your spiritual purpose. Don't wait for some dramatic outer change. Allow yourself right now to be in contact with your spiritual purpose. And it melts away, like what that person said was, it melted away that feeling of being at war with themselves. There was just clarity. I am here to be of service. And everything else that unfolded after that for them, I mean, it's kind of surprising. They got married after that. They had a kid after that. They started a business after that. And so don't allow the outer circumstances of your life to determine what unfolds. When you find that inner clarity, when you find that inner spiritual purpose, then from that, the outer circumstances of life unfold. So just allow yourself to go straight to that clarity, straight to that inner sense of awareness and peace. And right now, let's just give ourselves a really brief meditation. And so this is a meditation. First, check in with what percentage of myself is battling with myself. What percentage of myself is engaging in negative self-talk or self-judgment, resistance, resentment? What percentage of myself is battling with the world? And what would happen if I just visualize that as like a mist, and I allow the sun to come out, and the sun just melts the mist away? So the same way that you can walk into a room and turn the light on, and the darkness just vanishes. There's no fight, and there's no delay. You can just allow the sun, the warmth and the brightness of the sun, to melt away that mist of resistance, to melt away the mist of that negative self-talk, to melt away the mist of wherever you're fighting the world. And then if you can, allow yourself to focus on the energy of your heart. If you have been feeling any anger, visualize that too as like a mist. And there's a sun that's rising in your heart, and it just melts away the mist of that anger. And then your whole heart is able to be filled with the energy of appreciation. And whole heart filled with the energy of appreciation, notice what it feels like to feel cared about by someone or something. So this might be your cat sitting for your neighbor, and your neighbor's cat gets really excited when you go to feed your neighbor's cat. This might be the sun on your skin in the early morning. It might be the breeze blowing across your face. It might be the smile of a friend. It might be a friend reaching out a helping hand or giving you a hug. It might be a relative, either here in the physical or in the non-physical. It might be a teacher, someone who shares caring with you in just a very pure and natural way. And notice how your heart feels to feel cared about. And allow this energy of caring to really flow through you and strengthen you. So you're giving your heart permission to feel completely clear, completely filled with this energy of caring. Notice how your heart feels when you express caring. And so again, this is just like the pure, unmotivated, unconditional kindness that is able to share through you. The way the sun rises and it shares light with the whole land, just naturally and effortlessly. And notice how incredible it feels in your body, your heart, and your mind when that energy of pure caring shares through you. Notice as well, it's possible to radiate that energy of pure caring into this room so that everyone who's in this room, everyone who's meditating online, is able to connect with an amplified field of that energy of pure caring. And I will just mention that scientific instruments are able to measure this. If a group of people are focusing on this, it increases the energy, it increases the effect. So allow yourself to feel really strong in this energy of caring, this energy of kindness. Allow yourself to feel physically strong. Allow yourself to feel emotionally strong. Allow yourself to feel mentally strong. Allow yourself to feel how strong your own life energy is. No matter what condition your physical body is in right now, pure source energy is here, in, through, and as you. It is limitless, pure energy that is making possible for each of us to be here. And so allow yourself to feel strong and also clear and courageous in your understanding and in your energy of caring. Extend this strength, this understanding, this caring to yourself, the way you would share it with a friend, someone you care about, whose happiness you really care about. And then allow this energy of strength and understanding and caring to share through you with everyone currently meditating, and then through you with everyone across the planet, all beings in all planes of existence. And notice as well, there's no loss, there's no diminution of strength and energy for you as you allow this energy to share through you. It actually strengthens you even more. And so open and allow this energy to circulate back to you and support you. And I'll give us just a moment of silence. But in that moment of silence, I would invite you to formulate an intention. It could be simple, like, I intend to remain steady and strong in the energy of caring and appreciation. It can be another pure-hearted intention that is very dear to you. So I'll give us a moment of silence so everyone is able to articulate that quietly and silently. And know as well, the intentions that we formulate right now while everyone is meditating together gain strength and gain in energy as a result of this shared field of light, this shared field of kindness, this shared field of strength, and this shared field of understanding, which we are all inhabiting right now. So to close, I invite us to bring our hands in prayer at the heart and press your hands gently but firmly together I will also just mention, if you're in a meeting, it's possible to press the fingertips together. It's a really unobtrusive way to connect with the same kind of clarity. So if you're at a business meeting, you're around the dinner table, having a conversation with a friend, you're on the train, you're in the grocery store, if you ever need to connect with that same clarity, that same strength, that same courage and skill and wisdom, this works just as well as putting your hands together at the heart. And really, you're always just connecting with your own limitless energy. You have no idea how limitless the energy is that shares through you. And so you're melting away self-limitation, you're melting away self-doubt, you're melting away self-judgment, you're melting away self-resistance, and you're allowing this limitless energy to share with you with incredible courage, incredible wisdom, incredible strength, incredible skill. Thank God, and God bless us all.